Hello everyone, I'm Srishti Singh, student at Sharda University. I'm going to give a presentation on our research paper, Placement Analysis, a new approach to ease the recruitment process. The contents of the presentation are as follows: problem statement, existing solution, proposed solution, tech stack used, methodology, result, scope of improvement, and preferences. Now I will move on to discuss the problem statement. The major sequential approach for getting placed in a good organization is going through various technical and interview rounds. A typical placement process consists of a few rounds of technical assessment, which can vary from company to company, and a final interview round. But this is a very time consuming and cumbersome process for both the students and the management, with very little output. According to the statistics, qualification rate drops by 1 to 2% each year. Also, among the applicants, only 1.4% of the students could write functionally correct and efficient code. The management also lose track of an individual student's progress report, and hence there is a lack of proper counseling and guidance for the student at the right time. It also lacks the aspect of self-assessment. Now, when we move on to the existing solutions, we have PAT, Placement and Training. It is a proposed Android application to monitor the student information and to keep them updated about the latest placement activities going around at the college. It can be used by the students, teachers, and the parents. Then we have the workable application. The app can be used to do the tedious task of storing and retrieving student data, but it is more involved in the placement management and pays less attention to the placement analysis. So, we propose a value-oriented, automated application to keep track of the placement activities. It will provide a chance to both the admins and especially the students through self-assessed and curated progress reports to be well acquainted with the individual students' weaknesses and areas with the scope of improvement. As a student, the user can view a history of the placement drives he or she has been a part of and get an analysis of his or her performance in various rounds. As an admin, the user can view the placement history of an individual or a group and the individual progress analysis report. The technology we will be using for the application are given in table 1. We will be using Django for the backend of the web application. We will be using Microsoft Azure for storing the data. For the front end, we will be using CSS3 for support and styling, and we will be using JavaScript for the creation of dynamic HTML pages. Now moving on to the methodology, both the admins and students are presented with a login page to gain access to the application. It ensures authentication and also credibility to our website. Once the authentication is successful, the user is directed to the home page of the application. If by case the authentication fails, the user is redirected to the login page. To give the results for self-evaluation and integration with the placement process, the registered student's profile data is equally separated into various successive parts. Then the significance of each part is determined. This process method is essentially equivalent to obtaining 1 unit data at every registration. Then, the improvement rooms are determined for all the students. For the result of each student in the eligible group, the personalized reports data generation during, let's say, mock or real-time interview is equally and honestly separated and notified to the candidate. This process is essentially equivalent to giving the test in the original placement drives, but along with a more focused attention to the details. Also, each group is constantly kept in touch with previous year students as well as the counselors for proper guidance and counseling. The final application we developed is very mobile friendly and caters to the device on which it is being viewed by the user. And as you can see, some of the screenshots of a user interface, the landing page, the registration page, the admin login page, and the student login page. The analysis given in previous section indicate the reduction of quick exits during the early stage of the placement process caused by the irregularity and ineffective communication between the students and the placement authorities. The personalized reports on individual weaknesses may be another reason for the high consistency of this model. In general, it is just a pilot study to validate the feasibility of the approach, to discriminate the gap of content, and more work needs to be performed. Now, though our project itself is matured enough, but still, betterment is always an open door. In this case, we can add more features to make it more reliable and quickly accessible. We are also planning to incorporate backup procedures to make sure of the data integrity. We are also trying to bring up a feature where we can abridge the communication gap between the students and the company through virtual meeting. Following are the references we have used for our research on the existing solutions. Now we have come to the end of our presentation. Thank you very much.